anytime a new Soul game releases, that day is marked as an event. For me, that's held true since the first print run of Demon Souls on PS3 and when I got a PS5 for the remake. It's never been about the difficulty, but rather how the developer makes growth meaningful through measured hardship that makes their game so addictive. When I reflect on the 70 hours it took to beat Elden Ring, that number seems exaggerated. All I could think upon completing the game is that I needed to start another journey. The summary of Elden Ring follows. We are tarnished, an exile of the lands between for having lost the favor of the Earth Tree. In our absence, the power that begot the tree, the Elden Ring, was shattered, undoing order for each of its fragments govern fundamentals of existence. War waged for total possession of its pieces for the title of Elden Lord, to no victor other than bringing the land further ruin. Without recourse, the Tarnished are signaled to return by the great will of the Earth Tree, that perhaps one among them may restore order.
To stand before the Elden Ring.
The story is profound, but few will grasp it unless taken to learning about it online. Item descriptions will give weight to the scale of things, but you'll be left wondering as From Software has done in the past. This has always been a strength to me, but things unclear, form is never defined. It could be as deep as you choose it to be. From the outset, I knew I was going to pursue an anabolic build. High strength, vigor, and endurance, wielding a great sword and high defensive armor, but with the mobility to get the hell out of the way. My character was made and took to the surface. You can't help but marvel at the sight. It's vast. The game is open world, but doesn't play like its contemporaries. You don't have a checklist of things to do, overwhelmed by objective markers. In Elden Ring, organic exploration is what leads to discovery. You're given a horse to aid in pillaging everywhere, killing everything. If you can see it and survive your way there, you can explore. You feel like an actual adventurer. The game doesn't hold your hand or keep it away from those that'll sever it. It's all on you, and it's refreshing. If you've mastered your invincibility windows in past games, you'll know how to play here. The gameplay core of our fond past is back, with magic and multiplayer in tow. The guard break and almighty lunge attack have been removed, but in their stead are a counterattack and an OP version of the weapon art to Dark Souls 3, weapon skills. The counterattack is cool, but I seldom used it once my build became more cemented. Weapon skills though, became essential. I switched between two great swords regularly, because one weapon skill would stagger bosses with 2 to 3 beam marks a la Zelda. The other, an AoE blast to clear rooms. Toss in a summonable spirit whenever this icon appears. You're equalizing. They don't unbalance the game. It accounts for their use. Bosses hit hard, often with the stamina of a button masher. The summon may give the only allowance for healing. Trust me, even power level, there are enemies that will bludgeon humility. Sounds badass, right? But up to the 30-hour point, I had to learn some of this. My preferred mode of combat is melee, no magic, with the heavy reliance on reflexes. One of the reasons I regard Sekiro as my favorite From Software game. For my initial 30 hours, that's how I proceeded. However, as I found myself at a roadblock, I turned to the internet for some assistance. I happened upon a church I overlooked. Dude, at the start of the game, with an NPC there that sold a crafting kit, opening a new option in my pause menu, and another that gifted a summon with the bell to perform it. 30 hours ago, I started Elden Ring going right instead of straight out of cave, to gather flowers and small animal bones. My assumption was they'd be unlocked by a mid-game NPC, not the first you're supposed to interact with. Man, I was laughing. It was a reminder when I was younger researching games like Morrowind. Each new piece of info will watershed to another question, to the point you feel the world is as rich as the one you actually lived in. I took note of the weapons I wanted to use and what I needed to do to get them, and diversified the build to have magic. Man, what a difference that made. Again, the game is balanced with the new mechanics in mind. If I was already having fun, imagine the nth degree it hit after. Elden Ring will be Game of the Year. The experience on offer is too rich, with parallels drawn being only other masterpieces. If it could be stated that 70 hours felt short, that I welcome an immediate second playthrough, that says everything. It's exactly why many of us turn to gaming for in the first place. To have fun. For some, the difficulty may be a barrier, but it exists to take pride in learning. To find reward in prevailing over challenges. You're likely hearing praises others have already given, but it has been garnered with due reason. This is a game that will push the industry forward, forcing competitors to respond. Elden Ring is an achievement. This segment is more of an aside, but I wanted to conclude on game performance. The game is phenomenal. The following annoyances don't affect my perception of that. With patches having been released, frame rate issues are reported on every platform. I played Elden Ring on PC, across the desktop and laptop at 1440p resolution, with neither machine being ill-equipped, as both bear 30 series RTX GPUs with 8-core CPUs, more frequent on the laptop, but the open worlds could occasion frame rates in the high 40s. While dungeon crawling, it generally held 60 but could drop with too many effects going on. It sucks. The frame rate cap is 60, which I don't mind, but that it be its limit. That with mods reported to run higher and more consistent, that resolutions for ultra and super wide, which people have seen low but pillar box within seconds, aren't officially supported. Finally, that should you opt to remove these restraints, you allegedly risk being banned. Again, it sucks. I understand that with open world bugs are common, to be expected given their complexity, so inconsistent frame rates I get, sigh and move on. But imposing feature restraints, features allowing for a better experience, that I don't. From Software has been vocal in seeking to correct performance related issues, so the future should be smooth. Just hope they tap into other aspects. Thanks for watching. This being the second review, it came a little easier. Still trying to find a rhythm, but as I voiced last time, if you find potential in what I can produce, like and subscribe. Comments are also appreciated. Hope to make better content for my audience with material that I can take pride in. Thank you and have a good one.